Hello, guys. Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are in the world, hello. Greetings from Dallas, Texas, from Katrina Lokko. I wanted to get on here. I told you guys that I was starting a series called The Anatomy of Me. And I want to explain a little bit about what the anatomy of me is. The anatomy of me is you taking very detailed inventory about your life, your makeup, and I'm not talking about your makeup, I'm talking about what makes you up, what makes you you, what sets you apart, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what makes you angry, what makes you tick. Okay, what makes you be driven to launch yourself into something great? All those things. So, the anatomy of me, meaning you can say it to yourself, say, I need to understand the anatomy of me. So, a little bit of why I decided to do this series. This series came from a place in my life where I was discovering me. And it wasn't just one time or a one time situation or a one time incident or a one time discovery. This is years and years of building and understanding and studying the makeup, the anatomy of you. So I started on my journey actually in the 90s, actually before then, but aware of being on a journey in the early 90s. I was aware of things that make me angry. What was my triggers? What made me sad? What was my strengths? What was my weaknesses? What was my strong points in everything that I did in life? And what was that one thing that just drove me to be successful, drove me to commit, to dedicate something bigger than myself. So since the 90s, the early 90s, I've been aware of the journey. But even then, looking back before then, looking at my childhood, looking in things that how I interacted with my siblings, my parents, my teachers, friends, and other people that were around me, I was discovering these patterns, these strings of everything about me. And I began to love some of the things, but then I began to be like, wait a minute, I don't think that that's needed, or I don't think that's good. And when you're doing this anatomy of me, you have to be really honest with yourself. If something is good, it's good. If something is great, it's great. If something is bad, it's bad. And you figure out ways to make it better or to get rid of it. There is a thing where something is really bad, but you either get rid of it or you make it better. Why do I say that? Because some things, some qualities that we have that we think are bad are really actually needing to be perfected or enhanced to be used for where you're going. So don't be so hard on yourself when you're going through this, but everybody on this planet needs to do an analogy of themselves. They need to study themselves. We're always studying people. As a business owner, as a minister, as a mother, as a daughter, as a friend, I'm always taught to discover or learn new things about those people. Or in business, they say, learn from the greats, see what made them successful. And that's fine and good, and we should do those things, but not before we study ourselves, because in studying ourselves we may discover some commonality between those other people in us, and then lack thereof commonality. But study yourself and understand what's going to make you successful by studying you, not other people. You can go and learn and glean from other people, of course, but you're gonna learn how to be successful from the anatomy of you, from the anatomy of me. That's what's going to make you successful. So, as we travel this journey together, as we go through some very key and important things in our lives, it's going to be great. Now, I teach from a standpoint of everything to me is spiritual. Everything's go back to spiritual things. So there will be spiritual things talked about in here. There will be biblical things talked in here. So if you're that person that does not want to believe in the biblical and spiritual side of things, that's okay. But I'm telling you, there's something you can learn from me, like there's something I'm sure I can learn from you. It's okay. But do not criticize, do not do not make a mockery of fun of what I believe, because I will not do that to you. We have to understand the anatomy of me will be the place where you find out that it doesn't care what nobody else believes or nobody else thinks or what they do. I'm going to love them unconditionally because that's them. And I'm going to accept them unconditionally because that's them. It doesn't change who I am because I'm just accepting that. That just says that I'm mature enough to handle where are at in their lives, what position they play even in my life. So welcome, welcome, welcome to my Bold Shift community, and we're gonna talk about important things. I am a business and lifestyle tour consultant. And I mean, I help you navigate and tour the areas of your life that need to be visited, that needs a picture shot, taken about it. However you want to say that. I got kind of tongue tied there. But that's okay because that is another thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about it's okay not to be perfect and to make those mistakes. And what do I do when I make those mistakes? Most of the times, nothing. You just let them go and do better the next time. Unless it's against your family member, friend, or somebody, then you go back and you apologize, of course. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Always say you're wrong and apologize. They either receive it or they don't. But if you are wrong, then you apologize. But the mistakes I'm talking about, oops, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to say that word. I didn't mean to dress like this. Those are things that can be corrected over time. And if people don't follow you or don't like you because of those things, then guess what? They're not a part of where you're going. And so you need to understand those things. But be yourself authentically. Share your life story in a way that people can understand that they too can overcome some things, or they too can have success, or they too may be traveling the same roads that you're traveling. But I'm here to tell you, you're going to learn something new every second of the day about yourself when you begin to study the anatomy of me. So I love you guys. I wish you all the best. You are bold and unique, fearfully and wonderfully made. Rip off every label placed on you by others, especially the ones that you place on yourself. And I'm going to ask you guys a favor. I want you to go over to Eventbrite, not Eventbrite. See, that was a mistake, so I can correct it. Go over to Amazon and purchase my books. I have one book that I published in 2015. I actually wrote it in 2009, but I didn't publish it until 2015 because I was too chicken before that to publish. And plus, I didn't have enough knowledge on how to publish it. So I didn't publish it until 2015. But I wrote it in 2009. So I want you to go over there and buy it. It's called the DMS Coaching Concept, and that's Business Building Begins with You. Let me tell you a little bit about the story, the story behind the name of my book. DMS is my sister's initials. My sister passed away. Um, when she passed away, I was so excited to name the book about her, which I was going to do that anyways, because growing up, I had some serious learning disabilities. And she came up with a very unique way on teaching me how to teach myself and how to learn. So I credit that book to her because she didn't give up on me. She understood my learning style because she studied me. She studied herself first, but she definitely studied me to come up with a way for me to come out of this so-called learning disabilities. Because sometimes you're not learning disabilities. People just don't know your learning style and they don't know how to teach you or reach you. But that's that book, DMS Coaching Concept, Business Building Begins with You. You just heard me say it begins with you because success begins with you. It begins in you. The other book is Who Stole My Benefits? I'm Coming for My Stuff. And that's the importance and why I chose business ownership and how my eyes were opened about certain things within our systems. So those books are on Amazon, but you can also buy the Who Stole My Benefits on my stand store. And I will post the link here in the description this video. So, guys, thank you and welcome to the Bold Shift community. And I'm telling you, I'm always excited to be pushing you off the cliff into the safety net of your own destiny, because it's in your destiny where you are discovered by you.